Hi everyone and welcome to The Crows Show, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. I'm Mark Bickley.
And I'm Alana Smith. With just 8 home and away games left, we're building to perhaps the tightest finals race in memory.
Coming up in today's show, sharing the players' pain, the new stats in football broadcasts.
And the state's cricketers take some fitness lessons from one of football's finest.
My current role is called Physical Performance Manager, so you basically look after the fitness or oversee the fitness for all, Saka or Redback grades.
But first, Betts and Cyril Rioli are undoubtedly two of the most respected players in the game, with some of the best highlight reels. While footy lovers marvel at their speed, elusiveness and flashy tricks, the players themselves willingly admire each other's favourite goals.
Now they want me to pick 3 of my favourite Eddie Betts moments. What, just 3? You serious?
He's turning on the Eddie Betts show again!
Eddie Betts is by far one of the most exciting players to have played the game. He can do anything.
I have a secret. I love Cyril Rioli.
Oh, Cyril's done it! They've just been Cyril again!
Here's number 3. Right foot check side from the boundary.
There's Eddie Betts again. Keeps it alive. It's alive! And he didn't even get it all! He turned to the ground and he says, I'm Eddie Betts!
Coming in at number 3, this is going to be good. Flies for a high mark, takes the specky.
Oh, yes!
Landed on his feet like a cat.
And goes bang!
Straight through the middle.
It's a beautiful thing!
Here's number 2. Back at the Blues. Check this out.
Didak been reported the smother by Betts. Kept it alive. The impossible goal!
I love Eddie Betts. Everyone loves Eddie Betts.
At number 2, ball is actually kicked to Buddy Franklin first.
2 fists, knock it down. Rioli, somehow through traffic. It would be a miracle. Oh, they don't come any better than that.
Shrugged Richo off, dropped it on his left foot, dribbled along the ground and went through the goal.
Cyril Rioli, we love you.
Now, coming in at number 1, it's probably one of my all-time favourite goals.
Dempsey, as far as the Bombers were concerned, after the initial effort from Hooker. But now they're in trouble. A hand pass from Slattery. Hooley came unstuck. Rioli, a little 1-2, and Bateman gets through and kicks a goal. Marvellous stuff.
That's my all-time number 1 goal of Cyril. That was good. Mike, out.
My all-time favourite Eddie Betts goal. Drum roll, please.
Crows with the numbers at ground level are still in. Eddie fooled them all! Escaped! Eddie Betts! And it is! Not his pocket, but his goal, and his people celebrate! One of the goals of the year!
Not bad, Eddie. Not bad.
They don't come much better than those two. Now, the new collective bargaining agreement, negotiated recently by the AFL, allows broadcasters access to players' GPS data. This means that while watching a game, you'll see details about how hard players are working and how much distance they're covering. So, how will that change our viewing experience?
So here we've got some data which, some of the stuff that you might see on game day. This is the total distance for the game, and in red here is the top 5 players. As you can see, some of the players are up around the 16 kilometres. The other thing we might see similarly is how fast they've got to. So I can tell you that this one here is Charlie. As we know, Charlie's pretty quick, up close to 36 kilometres per hour.
Charlie Cameron, and he's off to the race.
So one of the exciting things about the new Players CBA is that the punters out there will get access to some of the GPS data that we collect. We obviously collect GPS data for every player, for every game, and really excitingly, that'll be available to everyone to see on TV now. Initially, I understand that people will be able to see players' distances, players' top speeds, not every single person, but definitely the top 5 from each team. We do know that simply running further doesn't exactly mean success, but the people will be able to see, I think everyone always wants to know, how far does Sloaney run, or, some of the, Dougie, some of the real hard workers, and the top speeds, everyone loves seeing Charlie Cameron dash down the wing. These days we'll actually be able to see soon enough how fast he does get.
So Adelaide out here. Cameron with some real fancy work.
So many stats around these days, it's all a bit bewildering. When Alana returns after the break, we'll meet the Crows' online captain. And could Hugh Greenwood's grilling from Smithers be any more testing than his AFL debut?
Welcome back. Former Crow Stephen Schwert has a well-earned reputation as a fitness guru. After playing 25 games for Adelaide in the early 90s, he spent 14 years as the club's fitness mentor before taking up a similar position with the Gold Coast Suns. In this segment, Flying the Nest, brought to you by Flight Centre, we catch up with Stephen in his latest role as Physical Performance Manager for the SA Cricket Association.
Setting Schwert a task out there. Locks arms with Sport. Now breaks away. He's been very busy.
After twice breaking his jaw in the Crows' inaugural season, Stephen Schwert didn't make his AFL debut until the following year. He admits that growing up, his only ambition was to play for Central District.
My history as a player was probably based around being pretty fit. I probably wasn't the most talented guy playing the game, so I probably had that reputation over the journey that I was a hard worker.
Together with hard work, Schwert had excellent qualifications in physical education and sports science. So when Neil Craig needed an assistant in his fitness team, his career took a sudden turn. Then
Craigie left to go to the Olympics, and I took over the main role and stayed there for a fair while after.
Then came the Gold Coast, and finally, the call to cricket.
I've been in footy, in fitness for probably nearly 20 years, so having a different sport you had to get your head around has been a great challenge.
He enjoys his new role as the physical performance manager of all Redback squads because it allows him to step out from behind a desk.
In cricket, because we haven't got as big a squad, and we haven't got as many staff, so you become a hands-on man as well, that's been a real big bonus, I reckon, getting back into cricket, is that you get to spend 3 hours in a gym just then with the boys, which you probably wouldn't have done as a high performance manager. You'd be too busy liaising with coaches and other staff to make sure everything's running well.
Push up the balance.
We're in the middle of pre-season at the moment. We're 3 weeks in, so our days are pretty full. It's nothing like a footy pre-season. You start early and you finish towards the end of the day, and the players are pretty much training all day.
And Schwert is keen for his cricketers to heed some football lessons.
So I've really tried to develop a bit of a link between the two AFL teams so that our boys can sort of draw off what the professionalism of what AFL footy is, because they probably do it as good as anyone in world sport.
Shot here, he's inside 50, Schwert, couple of bounces, stabs at goal, as kicked.
Stephen enjoyed an outstanding career with Central District, playing 212 games. Now, in the past couple of years, we've followed Hugh Greenwood's outstanding journey from US basketball to the AFL. But to cap off his achievement, he has to spend 60 seconds in Brodie Smith's hot seat. It's all thanks to Revolution Roofing.
Welcome to this week's Victory Veranda Hot Seat. This week we're joined by Hughie Greenwood. All right, Hughie, where were you born?
I was born in Hobart, Tasmania.
Growing up, which AFL club did you support and who was your favourite player?
I was a Cats fan growing up, Geelong fan. My favourite player was Buddha, Gary Hockham.
Which player at the club thinks they're the funniest?
Probably Rat.
And who is actually the funniest?
Kyle Genie. Everything he says is gold.
Yeah, it's probably a silly question, but if you could be professional at any other sport, what would it be?
Jeez, yeah, basketball would have been nice, but probably golf as well. I feel like it's pretty chilled, make good coin.
Most famous basketball player you've met?
MJ.
Gee,
yeah.
You can't get much higher.
No, can't get any higher.
Bright or black boots?
I'm a Bright. You know I'm a Bright.
I know you're a Bright man. You've got some nice Nikes going. If you could pick one player to take a set shot after the siren to win the game, who would it be?
I'm picturing probably 15 out, directly in front, siren's gone, Riley O'Brien.
Do you check your own stats after the game?
Yes.
Yeah, I should have asked how soon after the game.
How soon? Nah, not too soon.
If you could be anyone else in the world, who would it be and why?
Probably Chris Hemsworth, for obvious reasons again. He's a bit of a stallion.
All right, Hughie, thanks for joining us, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
There you are, Hugh. Your Crows baptism is now complete. Now, we've heard recently how the Crows have stolen a march on their AFL rivals by acquiring an eSports team. Let's meet that team's version of Taylor Walker, Legacy's captain, Tim Wendel, and learn about life as a professional gamer. As it turns out, their schedule is remarkably similar to professional athletes.
At first glance, it's hard to see any similarities between the passiveness of sitting in front of a screen and the punishment of being an AFL footballer. But to someone who's been a professional eSports player for 3 years, there are many comparisons.
I'm not fazed as to whether or not it's a sport or whether people call it a sport or not. It's competition. Obviously it's not very physical, but the mental demands are extremely high. We still train almost every day of the week. We watch what we eat. We do sessions with sports psych. You know, we have to deal with the media, we have to deal with fans. And so while the physicality isn't there, all the kind of external factors around sports still exist for esports.
Tim Wendel captains the team Legacy in the universal competition known as League of Legends, which is played by a mind-boggling 60 million gamers every month. There's no doubting the professionalism of his team.
For the last year and a half, I've lived in a gaming house. Me and my team, we all live together. All our expenses are covered. We get paid a salary weekly by, you know, our equivalent of the AFL, Riot Games.
In an Australian first, the Crows bought Team Legacy to ensure they're in pole position when the competition here takes off. For Tim and his gamer mates, there are immediate benefits.
Joining forces with the Crows is a massive deal for us at Legacy. I'm really excited to learn all the tricks that they have, particularly around like mental preparation for games.
We're certainly all on a steep learning curve there. Well, do stay with us and meet the young man touted by some as the next Rory Sloane. And coming from Broken Hill, Tex Walker should know a little about off-road driving, but does he?
If you needed someone to represent the future of AFL, you'd probably look no further than Jordan Gallucci. Not only does he possess excellent skills, but his athleticism is remarkable. The Crows had no hesitation in taking the midfielder as their first pick in last year's draft.
Gallucci, he's been terrific. Breaks away.
It took just 8 games in the Southall for Jordan to convince the selectors he was ready for the AFL.
You're always waiting for the phone call, maybe on a Wednesday night, Thursday night. You're always just sitting by the phone hoping Pike will call you. And yeah, leading up to it was really exciting. Obviously called the family first up, and Dad was nearly in tears, so it's a pretty exciting time for the family.
The 20-year-old's debut came against Brisbane, but first, the change room presentation.
Getting the jumper, finally, you know, you can hold it in your hands and you really feel like you're a part of the team now. Obviously, training with the boys, it is really good, but then just getting that feeling to really hold that jumper and be a part of it's really good.
And then a few words of encouragement from the player some compare him to.
Previously worn by only 2 players, and the only other number to be only worn by 2 players. So Nathan Van Burl and Nigel Smart both played over 200 games for the club, mate, so no pressure there.
Sloanie's words were really good. Listening, just pretty excited by the whole night.
Talent scouts had followed Gallucci's progress for years, well aware of his physical attributes. The ex-volleyballer was a standout at the league's draft combine, breaking the vertical leap record and winning the repeat sprint test. But making football strides wasn't easy.
The step up's really big. I mean, you played under 18s last year, and then you come into the SANFL playing against men now, so it's not that under 18 competition. You're playing against blokes who've been playing footy for, you know, their whole lives. It's really tough to adjust to, but then AFL's the next step up again.
Good kick up the middle here, Gallucci.
Yeah, it was good to get the first game under the belt, and the first goal from Eddie as well. He's pretty nice to me, so it was good. It was a great experience and one that I'll really treasure.
And he helps the first gamer to the first goal of his career.
Yeah, now you get the taste of it, you just really want to play more and more.
Jordan and his mate Miles Paholke still find time to help out in the club's Next Generation Academy. Now, let's venture into the Crows' kitchen where some of the players haven't exactly covered themselves in culinary glory. Thanks to Thomas Farms, let's find out how much Richard Douglas and club legend Tony Modra know about their food.
Alright guys, so we've got a photo of an Asian duck and mushroom pizza. I'm going to show Mods a photo of this and he's going to pick the ingredients which is in the pizza. Let's see how he goes. So Dougie, can you get 5, mate? What do you think? 5 ingredients in the pizza?
Oh, okay.
It's a tough one.
We'll start off with the base first.
It's a good way.
That's probably a must. We'll go to the mushroom.
Beautiful. 2 from 2.
Oh, Kyle Cheney's got to be on there.
Yeah.
Little bocconcini.
Well done, Kyle.
I like my red onion, so I'm going with that.
3 from 3. Red onion. That's a miss. Sorry, the red onion. we need some.
I'd have it on my pizza.
We need some meat on this pizza. What do you think?
There's only one sauce there, isn't there? So I'm pretty sure we'll go with the chicken. So we'll go there. Is that dark?
A bit of dark.
Will look like chicken from the top, so the sauce. There you go. Is that 5?
You got 3 out of 5 there.
3 out of 5, okay.
Well, I might have said 3 out of 5, but we'll give you the duck. You thought it was the chicken, it was actually the duck. We'll give you that one, and the spring onion you missed. So 4 out of 5, not bad. Thanks for joining us.
Take that. Cheers, mate.
Well, we've already seen about a dozen or so past and present players tackle our Toyota Hilux four-wheel drive course near Adelaide. Now it's the turn of Taylor Walker to see if the captain is up to the challenge.
I'm going to hopefully get a plaque put on the mantelpiece. Quickest time out here today. Saunders Gorge. I had Sloane in the back seat. I can imagine how Belinda feels when she's driving.
Just drop it here, bro.
Having Sloane in the back, squawking like a bird.
Can you see where you're going here or not? Oh. It's like in the tree barrel. At least watching you do it first. I get a bit of research and a bit of it.
Trying to crack funny ones.
Put some sunscreen on, mate. Where's your hat?
Oh, I like the one just here, going straight up there. The car's pretty much felt like it was going to tip over, but now I can sort of associate the way Lairdy feels when he's actually driving on flat road.
Oh, that's well, once we're going to the moon.
It's a competitive time. I don't reckon too many people will go close.
Quick stop. Oh, that could be the horn of victory. I reckon we might possibly have a new fastest time. Probably.
Okay, Skipper, I thought a boy from the outback might have done a little better. 3 minutes 27, that puts him right in the middle of the pack. And we're starting to wonder if anyone can catch Dougie and Sauce. Still ahead on the Crows Show, fans have their say on who's the best kick. And we'll check out our social media sites.
Turning now to a couple of highlights from our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. They are the fastest growing sites in the AFL, and our Twitter following, for example, is the largest in Australian club sport. So make sure you get on board. Now, first up, it's been 20 years since Tony Modra took his second mark of the year.
It was a sensational mark.
He certainly electrified the crowd. And we know Rory Sloane is affectionately known as Batman, but we didn't realise he can fly as well. Okay, who do you think is the Crows' best kick? Of course, we need to consider accuracy, distance and consistency. So while you ponder the question, let's hear what some of the game day fans have to say.
I would say Tex Walker. He's normally a long bomb. He normally finishes very hard. He normally kicks through the ball well.
Well, I think the best goal sneak's Eddie, for sure. And I reckon that Lever is one of the better kicks from the back line, yeah, for sure.
Eddie Betts.
Probably Brody Smith from outside 50.
Brody Smith.
I'd put my money on the Tex.
Rory Sloane. Brody Smith. Probably Eddie Betts.
Staying with the fans, let's find our crow in the crowd. Looking, why don't we stop the shot on you? If you recognise yourself, make sure you contact the club before 5 p.m. next Wednesday. Be ready with some photo ID and you'll win a merchandise pack. Well, that just about wraps up our show this week, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse.
And don't forget, you can always see exclusive stories like those we've shown you today by visiting the club website afc.com.au.
Thanks for your company today, and we look forward to you joining us again next Sunday at 11:30 on 7. Bye for now.
See you then.